So for our acoustic wall panel, I found this site that has these felt panels that you can, little mini panels that you can stick together to create wall arrangements. So you can do all kinds of things with color and that. And the one that kind of attracted my eye was this free-form piece. So I'd like to try and make this single unit element, which it's, you can see here that they're working through fabricating, and build a system out of it. So the way we'll do that is we'll just make a family element and work from there. So I'm going to go to File and make a new family, a generic model. And we're going to do a, and the reason we have to do this, I couldn't find a BIM component for that. If you happen to find it, you don't even have to go through this process. But we're going to build a BIM component, and we're going to use, let me just step out of this again. We're going to use the create mode. I'm already into, let me try to undo here. So we're looking right now at the reference level, but we're going to do a multiple extrusion. I'm going to use the blend tool, and we're going to go to a left elevation, and I'll zoom in here, and we'll start with a blend. A blend is thinking that we have a top and a bottom. So I'm going to start with one of the surfaces. In this case, I'm going to draw it as a rectangle. I'm going to make it like 4 inches in the front, or 3 inches in the front, let's say. Let me just zip out here a little bit. 3 inches by 1/4. And then back here, I'm going to, so I just clicked on from edit to top to edit to base. I'm going to draw another unit, and I'll make that 6 inches. Let's see how close I can get here. It wants to snap to that grid. Let's draw it this way just to keep away from the grid for a minute. All right, so we have the top and the bottom drawn now, and I'm just going to move this one. I just aligned it that way, and then now I'm just going to take it and move it back. Let's say we'll go back 3 inches, and we'll click done, and that will make us our first angled piece. So let's look at that, what we've got in a at the reference top level. And I'm going to want to mirror this, but I also want this to be a little bit more peaky, so I'm going to shorten that out. And let's just take a look at what we've got in a 3D view. All right, so we have our half, and we want to make a mirror along that edge. And I don't know if we can do a mirror in 3D mode here. I'll try it. No, it's not going to give me a reference plane. So we'll go up to the top level, and I'll select it, and I'll mirror it over. And we'll look at it again from 3D, and it's backwards. So let's see if I can fix that. I'm going to take that and move it over, and we'll look at it again, and that's making the shape we want, at least some reasonable facsimile of it. So let's go with that. So I'll go back to the reference level, and it's pointing in the, for me, it's pointing in the wrong direction, so I'm just going to rotate it right away. And let's give it a material property. Let's create a new material here and rename it Acoustic Wall Color. I'll call it Panel. And we'll give it that greenish appearance. You can pick anything you want. There we go. Okay, so that one's applied to it, and that one needs it applied to it. Okay, so let's go ahead now and group this. And let's go to the front elevation of it. And now what we want to do is, I'll do zoom extents. We want to start copying this over and starting to make an arrangement of this. So let's see if we can use our, I haven't done an array in a while. So let's do an array. So we want, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to waste your time if I screw it up. I'm just going to just keep duplicating these over really quickly because I want to just start to build the idea of what the panel will be like. So here we go. We're going to just grab it, move over 6 inches, move over 6 inches, just as they were attached to each other. Okay, that's probably enough. So get a nice broad reach of these. I'm just going to move them over till they're centered. And maybe I'll just pull them out so they're not in the middle of that reference line. Let's go right up here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate on the top. So I'm going to grab all of these again. And I'm going to copy them up. We'll copy them up, let's say 4 inches. And before I let go of them, I'm going to grab them and move them over 3 inches so that they're sitting right in the middle. And let's just take a look at that in the 3D view. Turns out I'm building backwards. That doesn't really make much difference. We can swing this all the way around. Or actually maybe I have, oh good. I don't have them backwards, they're just flipped around. So now we can just start duplicating this up. So I'll go back to, maybe we could do this right from the front view. I'll grab all of these and we'll copy up and we'll go up 12 inches, I believe it is. No, it's 4 inches. Let's do that again. So it'll be up 8 inches. And 8 inches, and we'll do one more. And now in order, you can apply them that way, or we could go in here now and start to craft the shape of this by deleting out elements. I would invite you to be a little more judicious about your development of the shape, but that's probably a little aggressive over there. Just pull a few of these out. You get the idea though about free-forming and what you could do here. Okay, so that's a completed assembly. So now let's save that and we'll give it a name. I'll call it wall panel 2 because it looks like I already have done this once. Wall panel 2. I'll save that and then load it into the project. We still have the acoustic ceiling tile open, so we just want to make sure we go into the visitor center. And we've got a relatively large piece of construction now, so we're getting some regeneration issues. Usually this process has to happen once and it gets pretty fluid, but we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so we have the panel, and I'm just going to come in here and place it somewhere on the wall, and then we'll go to our elevation to see where we're at. So I'll go to a section, and there we are on our wall. I'll just move it up a little bit, and I'll just copy one over here so that looks like I'm probably a little tight with room there, so but I'll copy it over anyway. Just so we can get an idea what it looks like. So we'll go now to that. There's our room view of it. So there we have our panels, and it looks a little, well, let's see what it looks like. It looks fine. So there we go now with at least creating some kind of a custom element for the interior acoustical control. We could probably put flip these patterns around and overlink them or something like that. So next we'll look at this wall detail here. What we want to do is, these are bathrooms, so I want to look at creating an acoustical high performing acoustical wall between these two, and we'll do that in the next clip.